Welcome back to the Bako Motorsports Power Hour, brought to you by Budweiser, a sign factory in the Bakersfield, California. And Mike Griffith's over there in the corner and taking bets on people. And I just called HR to resolve this issue right now. But Chris McCullough wants $5 on the action that you're slinging over there on a race this weekend. Steve, $5 gets out of the building.
That gives me. Well, I've got the field. He's got one driver.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about Stephen Blakesley's here, and he's got Blaine Perkins with us. And Blaine's a 14-year-old. He's just a kid. Look at him, but he's dominating, right? You're doing some good things on the track out there, right?
Yeah, we're doing great out there. I mean, the team's giving me great cars, and I'm doing as best as I can on the racetrack.
All right, well, we're going to get you some experience here in front of the camera here in a minute. But let's talk a little bit about what we got going on this weekend, Steve. It's a big, big weekend. And it's the K&N West Bakersfield 150, right?
And it's really the best racing that we do. The cars have a lot of horsepower. They have a lot of tire. They can run the outside line. Greg Persley has won both of our K&N West races, but of course David Mayhew, our 20-time late model winner, would love to defend Bakersfield's home turf and get the win. It's a televised race. It'll be on Fox Sports 1 on tape delay, but you don't want to wait. You want to see it live, and that's all going on Saturday. And we'll also have the Sitco late models. We're expecting about 15 or 16 of those, and Blaine will be out there making his debut on the half mile. And we'll also have the spec modifieds. So it's an all half mile program. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a really, really big night, and you got to get your tickets online and get all ready to go for that one. And we're coming off of another big night on Saturday, the Supermoto, and we're going to look at those highlights.
Great race. Let's take a look at the highlights from Saturday night, and as always, fun stuff.
Well, we debuted Saturday Night Supermoto, and we had the Open Pro, we had the Open Amateur, and they were very fast, and they were using that little ski jump we set up in the infield, lots of passing and battling. The Open Amateur, the heat race was won by a rider on a Husqvarna bike, but it was Bakersfield's Stephen Davies on the Kawasaki winning the Open Amateur main event. And now we go to Open Pro, and it's so cool the way they go up the hill and then down the front straightaway. Just a very high speed course, speeds over 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
And it was a big draw. Just for the heat races at about 5:45, we had close to 800 people in the stands.
Wow.
So it was awesome. This guy on the 10, Josh Chisholm, the 6D Motorsports. In fact, his brothers race sprint cars at my old gig up in Watsonville. So kind of cool to see a Chisholm get the win. And he just absolutely dominated the Open Pro. We want to thank Dave Walker for an awesome program for the Supermoto. They'll be back in September. The Mini Dwarfs.
This is a rare event, I think, happened here tonight in this race, right?
Well, I don't know. You're gonna tell me what you're referring to.
Well, maybe I don't think Anthony Balcazar won this race, right?
Well, no, he did not win the senior race, and we're looking at the juniors.
Okay, all right.
We're looking at the juniors, and part of why on that is that 13 is usually a senior car, but Cabe McClenny was in Jerry Flippo's 13, and there's a little bit of a dust up here between Kersey Young and Bailey Thompson, and that thrust Cabe McClenny into the lead, and young Cabe McClenny. Remember, we've had him on the show, Lewis.
Right, he had the brothers on there.
He wins again. He gets his second straight win in the junior minis. And Blaine, you haven't run the dwarfs, have you? You never ran mini dwarfs?
No, I never drove the mini dwarfs.
And you were coming out of go-karts, right?
Yep.
So mini stocks, and Terry Pettit was fast time qualifier in that 15, the Mountain Man, but he gets all tangled up with the truck of Sherry Layton. So you have the Mad Dog, Randy Smith out in front, the Iceman, Dylan Baker in second. Sam Piche, who's a backup quarterback for Centennial High School.
Oh, really?
In car 5.
Okay.
In fact, Buddy Shepard is also on that team as a wide receiver, so they play together on the Centennial freshman team. But we're talking racing right now. And,
right.
That's the 51 of Stacy Evans. Blondie Stacy was in Racing Vernon's car. And that car was, as you can tell, very ill-handed.
Right.
They were having some problems with that car, and Sherry Layton in the truck mixing it up, and then the 46 of Aldridge, and they get together.
That's not driving very well.
It was rough for the mini stocks, and when it was all said and done, the dust settled, and the Mad Dog Randy Smith extends his points lead with his third win of the year. Sitco late models. John Piker, the Sport Mod champion from Bakersfield last year, has taken to the pavement and done a pretty solid job. Gets out to the early lead. 13 to Josh Horn. But look at big bad Brian Richardson in the 4. He was not fast time. The top 3 qualifiers were only separated by 6 1,000ths across the top 3. So it was a very even qualifying. But come race trim, Rip Michaels had that number 4 all tuned up, Summer Ripe Rich Pack entry. And you were here to see this race, and these are the guys that will be racing next week. Blaine, what do you think you have for the 4 car? You think you have anything for him?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, he's such a great driver. I know I'll come out here with the car. Now I just got to have the experience and hopefully race the front.
That's the toughest thing is gaining that experience. Of course, the 4 crew, they've been running out here from the beginning, and Brian Richardson gets a comfortable victory ahead of Lance Wilson, and Josh Horn was 3rd in this race. Senior dwarfs. Here's what you were talking about earlier, Lewis, and this is why, is Anthony Balcazar gets tangled up with Clark. I don't think there was any intentional deal there. It looked like it was a racing deal.
Right.
And that thrust Cheyenne Flippo into the lead, but not for long. There goes Jeremy Clark. And I talked to Clark in the pits. I said, I hope tonight's your night. He'd been looking for his first win, and guess what? He got it done.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Clark wins his first senior dwarf victory, and that's his big smile in victory lane.
Yeah, pretty muted, I would say.
Spec Modifieds. What a beautiful field. 13 cars. And the chainsaw, Johnny White, got himself a brand new race car factory. Is that not a beautiful number 17
it really
ride?
is.
And he just slowly picked them off one by one, working his way past the 25 of Gary Dutton. Dutton will not be with us this weekend in Spec Mod. He's going back to Boone, Iowa for the Super Nationals. As White duking it out with Chris Dalton in that Victory Circle number 5. Race Car Factory versus Victory Circle. And right here, Johnny White's going to get the momentum on the inside and slip and slide a little bit, but he'll take the lead. And that was all it took for the Steve Portengay, Jeff Schrader, number 17. He's got a lot of good help on that car. This was interesting. These are the guys battling for 3rd in the points. Brock Thompson gets into Jim Coffey, who has been on the show, and Coffey cuts down the left rear tire, and it kind of ruined his night. He fell 5 laps down.
Wow.
All right, in the nightcap, the final race of the night was the 2nd of the Sitco 35s. And Racing Vernon in the 51, he wants us to retire the Mr. Hollywood nickname. But we're bringing that back because he had a heck of a night. And Blaine, you got to see this one, and a couple of 14 and 15-year-old drivers. And they were side by side for quite a long time. Tell us about that battle.
Yeah, it was a great battle out there. I mean, I haven't seen such a great race out there in a long time.
And they were side by side for 18 laps, Lewis, for the 3rd spot. Brian Richardson, the winner. Lance Wilson, 2nd. And Racing Vernon beat Buddy Shepard for
a really competitive night of racing all around there. A lot of fun. And a lot of surprises, too, I should say, right?
Yeah, so, all those surprises, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see more surprises this weekend. We're just going to have so many different drivers from different backgrounds and folks like Blaine, and we got people coming from North Carolina to race, and you're just going to get a little bit of everything.
And your first appearance on Fox Sports 1, too, right?
Yeah, a great opportunity for the racetrack, and I think people are going to see what we're all about on a national level. So.
Sounds like a notebook item over there, Griffith. Make sure you get that in there. Let's go through the results real quick. This is from the late model race. There's Brian Richardson and company with the win over Lance Wilson and Josh Horn and Buddy Shepard. Racing Vernon with 5th. The second part of these twin 35s.
The celebration grew.
The celebration got bigger. And Brian Richardson, of course, with another win over Lance Wilson. But Racing Vernon showing some real chops there as well. Spec Mods, and again, talking about that beautiful car by Johnny White with the win. I mean, it's much lower than some of the other Spec Mods. It's very sleek.
You noticed.
Yes.
I'm not saying there wasn't a lot of talk around town for the last 2 weeks about this race car, but there's a lot of talk around town.
It's a beautiful car, though. You can't deny that, and obviously it's may change things a little bit here. He beat Chris Dalton and Gary Dutton, and moving on to the mini stocks, which was probably one of the more entertaining races with the fishtailing.
Yeah, I jinxed this one because my dad was in the tire with me. I said, they're normally clean and green all the way, and it was the longest race of the night.
Okay, and then finally, Jeremy Clark, senior mini dwarf, he got the win over Cheyenne Flippo, and in the junior mini dwarf, there it is, Cabe McClenny and his family with the win over Kirsty Jung, and then the supermotos, we talked about that too. Those are your winners for the night. All right, let's talk to Blaine. Blaine, you're 14 years old. You've been running in Legends, S2, going to move up to the big car and late model, right? Tell me about the car.
Yeah, this weekend I'm going to make my debut in the 55 late model at Bakersfield. and it's a great car. Hopefully, we can go out there and run a great race.
So tell me a little bit. Where do you go to school, and what grade are you in?
Well, I'm a freshman at Bakersfield Christian.
Okay. Go Eagles, right?
Yeah.
All right. So a freshman at Bakersfield Christian. And how long have you been racing for?
I've been racing for about 5 years.
And you started, Steven said you started in go-karts. And talk about your progression of racing.
Yeah, I started in go-karts right around the age of 9 and moved up into the Bandoleros, legend cars, and into the S2s and late models.
And how did you get involved in racing? How did that happen? Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa? How did you get involved?
Really, it was just from the indoor go-karting. I loved it and got a go-kart and loved it even more. So
you were doing like one of those things where you would go to one of those places that had indoor, like the electric carts, and you would race in there, and just got into it more and more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do you like the oval racing then?
Yeah, I like oval racing, but I also love road course.
Okay, so tell me about Kern County Raceway Park and the opportunities you've had there to race there.
Yeah, I've had many wonderful experiences to run at Kern County. It's a great track, great facility. I can't thank the Vernons for putting on such a great track.
Right, and Blaine's been spending a lot of time running the half mile at Irwindale in a late model, so you've already got a couple starts under your belt. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences between Irwindale and what you're expecting at KCRP?
Well, Kern's a much more one-line track. Irwindale's been ran a lot longer, but Kern's a great track and always provides great racing.
And the team that he's driving for, Lewis, you're driving for Tim Huddleston, High Point Racing. Of course, they won our grand opening race. Does that add to the pressure driving for a team that's as strong as that team? And, of course, you're going to have two teammates you got to deal with as well. So tell us about racing for that team.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for me to race with such a great team. I mean, they've always given me the best car that I can possibly have, so it's really up in my hands.
Tell me the difference between the S2 late models and the regular late model you're going to be in.
An S2 is about a limited late model, a little less horsepower than the late model.
Less tire, less brakes, or about the same?
A little less tire and I think a little less brakes.
So have you practiced on? Have you tested the late model at Kern?
Yeah, I did test the late model last Friday at Kern.
How'd that go?
It went great.
Great. Good stuff. So Blaine Perkins, we're going to see you this weekend, right?
Yes.
You pretty excited?
Oh, very excited.
So what's Friday like for you? You really nervous and everything? Are you nervous all day Saturday? Or how does it go for you?
I'm not really nervous. I'm just more excited just to race again.
Just get ready to get down there and get racing. Okay. Well, check out this young man, one of the many great young drivers we have here in Kern County and Bakersfield. And we'll get his picture posted on the Facebook page, and you better like it. You better like it. I'm telling you right now. Get out there and see these races. Don't watch Fox Sports. Just watch it live.
Don't wait a week.
Don't wait a week. Get out here and watch it
It's
live.
our biggest race of the year. Come
Support these guys at Kern County Raceway Park and listen to Stephen Blakesley. You're the track announcer, and they're doing a great job. And so enjoy your Labor Day weekend, everybody. And we'll be right back after these messages with Auto Club Formosa Raceway. Thanks for joining us, everybody. All right, we'll be right back after these.